Can you hear the music?
I can hear the music.
Man, so many people can't hear it. Gets me fired right up to do a podcast.
Who is it? Who's playing right now?
So this is Senjin Boychuk. He actually made it for me, and I had him on episode 14, I believe, like 2 years ago, just about.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man, that's Senjin Boychuk, and we're getting him back on soon. He's doing some pretty good things right now. He's got his own band, and they're touring around, and he's grinding it out. Guy's blue collar. He's like a journeyman electrician, I think, or something like that. But he only does that to pay for his music. That working is like his hobby, so he could do his full-time thing, or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how he wants to word that, but we're getting him back on, and we're trying to get lyrics added to this. So yeah,
nice.
Yeah, man.
So you said you've been doing this or you had him on 2 years ago, episode 14. So that means you've been doing 14, this about that.
This will be episode 107.
Wow. So how long have you actually been doing this podcast?
This podcast, 107 weeks.
Okay, also a long time.
Yeah. An episode goes out every Tuesday. Yeah, an episode goes out every Tuesday. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. We just surpassed 100, and it was mind blowing how that went. Actually, I geared up for 100 for so long. And I had, I wanted to get Mike Rowe on, the blue collar guy. He's the blue collar guy's guy, right? So I wanted to get Mike Rowe on, and after about almost a year of trying to get him to come on, it didn't work, which is okay, we'll get him. 2025 is our year, Mike, so let's go.
There you go.
Yeah, but no, who I ended up having was Gord Kitely from the Second Act podcast, and that guy's been on my podcast a few times, and I've been on his. And Gord is an amazing human being. And, we talk to each other all the time about each other's podcasts. We give each other feedback. It's really rare that we don't go too long without talking to each other. And I'm glad that I had him on, honestly, like 100%, 100 went smoother than I expected it to be. But after 100 wrapped up, we finished recording it. And a week later it went out. 101 came. 102 came. 103 came. We're at 107, man. It's been 7 weeks since episode 100, and like and we talked about that on the podcast, like it's just another episode, right? And I was overthinking it for so long, for like 50 weeks, almost a year. I was overthinking episode 100. Yeah.
So do you record every single one on your campsite? Where are you at right now?
I'm at camp right now. I'm in northern Alberta, Canada. I'm in camp. I work in the oil and gas industry. So, this is a work camp where, I work away from home for 20 or so days at a time. And then I stay in camp, right? They have lodging for us. They feed us. They clean up after us, and we just sleep and go to work, right? And camps over the years have been getting significantly better. Some of them have ice rinks. Some of them have movie theaters and games rooms, and just shit to keep the guys' minds occupied, right? Because an idle mind is the devil's playground. And yeah, man, it's pretty crazy how far camps have come. The one camp I was in had spin classes and yoga classes, and they had team games like every day of the week. Like Monday was basketball or some shit, or badminton, and Friday was basketball. Thursdays and Saturdays was ball hockey. Sunday was the big night. Sunday was dodgeball in the gym, and you have all those big burly men with big arms coming in and whipping balls around at each other.
So what industry or what trade are you? What do you call yourself, pretty much?
So I'm a steamer operator. I just got this job, actually. I spent the last 7 years on a vac truck, following oil rigs around and cleaning up after them. Like we would clean their tanks for them. They'd rig out, we'd clean up them. And, it was a lot more than that. There was pipeline work and, oil spills and shit like that. There was and lots of other things, but the bulk of it was chasing rigs around and being exhausted from it. We're on call 24/7, never knowing if you have a cross shift coming. The longest I've ever been out, I think, is just over 40 hours at a time, without, taking a break. And 100 and roughly, it was about a little more than 100 hours a week Yeah. And one time I did 170 hours in a 8 day period.
You go get a damn man. So what is it now? How much you work now?
Now I'm on a steamer, right? Now I'm basically a boiler. The rigs, and the vac trucks servicing the rigs, they freeze up a lot in the winter, right? It gets minus 40, minus 50. They freeze up. You're in America, so in Canadian, like we're in Celsius. We don't deal in them freedom units. So, so we deal in Celsius at minus 40. Minus 40 is minus 40 for both sides, and then they separate again. But they freeze up, right? So they come to us and they're like, hey, we need some steam. Turn that water into steam, boy, and you do it. And it's guaranteed 12s. I'm not here any longer than 12. I go home right after the 12-hour mark. I work straight days. I have a schedule now. I'm not out for 6-7 weeks at a time. I'm out for 20 days and I'm home for 10. Good. So yeah, I get to see my family a lot more. It's a lot easier mentally. So, there's that. Yeah.
So how are you getting along when you didn't have that guarantee of, hey, 20 on, 10 off? How was it at home?
It was hard. I spent 2 years or 20 days at home in 2 years. It was hard. I got a 4, almost 5-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old daughter, man. And it's tough. Been with my wife for 20 years, man. I'm telling you, like, she's a saint. Like, I don't know how or why she's still here, but she is. So.
Man, I'm sure she must have been blowing up your phone a lot, or you guys would probably talk every night, all that stuff. I don't know. I'm gone for my 8-hour shift, and my wife's already calling my phone. Where am I at? So.
Yeah, well, also at one point in time we were 2 time zones apart, right? So, working 40 hours straight or whatever. There are times where I was at work and she was sleeping, and then I'd be finishing work and she'd be sleeping, and or vice versa. And man, that was really hard. We those 2 years we did not talk a lot. When we sit back and we really look at it and think about it, those were some of the most trying times of our marriage, of our whole relationship, right? Yeah. And I've been doing the oil field thing, working away now for 13 years out of the 20 we've been together. And yeah, man, that 2-year stretch was hard.
Yeah. So how did the kids handle it? They're young, so it's a little easier when they're young. But that relationship with their father is always very important.
Yeah, man. My youngest daughter, she was born in 2020, so at the beginning of the pandemic, just 2 days prior to it, actually. And her and I are great. We get along well, right? But my oldest, because I was away so much in those formidable years, those first couple, and so much after, right? Because for the first couple months I couldn't work with the pandemic, right? Yeah. And so I stayed home, and my daughter got to be there for the first 3 months or so. Those were important. And my oldest daughter, she's 7, and she's just starting to come around and be like, all right, we can hang out a little bit. All right, mom can leave you alone with me. All right, I don't need to be attached to her hip. She still looks at her mom when I'm like, can I have a hug? And she looks at her, and my wife's like, that's your dad. Give him a hug, right? And it's hard. That's hard. Yeah. It's hard mentally, for sure. But it's what we do for money. It's what we do to take care of our family, right? Yeah.
So you're what was I gonna say? Oh man, I just lost it.
That happens.
Okay, well, I'll get off that. I don't want to keep trying to think about that. I forgot what I was gonna say. It probably wasn't important if I forgot.
I was gonna introduce you though.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Who are you and what do you do, man? Honestly, bro, I don't know what it is that you do. Your videos are all how to be a carpenter, how to be an electrician, how to do this. Man, I know you're blue collar. I see the high vis vest and the gear on, but your videos are everywhere. I don't know what it is you do.
Well, thank you. Me personally, I mean, I just feel blessed that even people are even watching. I don't really consider myself, everywhere or popular or anything like that, because I'm not where I want to be. So I don't consider myself anyone really. I had a few videos pop off. Okay. Big whoop. That means nothing. Honestly, I've made $0 out of all the social media stuff. So if I don't see money, it doesn't mean anything to me. It's just that's something to do for fun. But so my name is Jacob Jordan. I've been in the construction industry as a whole since 2012. So that's what, 13 years, something like that. I've been in the shipyards, I've been in new construction, and I've been in residential. I started off as in the shipyards as like a 18-year-old baby Firewatch, didn't know anything, barely ever used tools in my life. So when people told me go get a grinder, I'm looking at them like a deer in the headlights. Like, what the hell is a grinder?
Grinding on things, right? Like,
yeah. Well,
hey, I'll be a grinder.
Yeah. Back then we didn't do that, but nowadays I probably would. So, you know, brand new, and thankfully they paired me up in sheet metal at the time. And in the shipyards, when they do sheet metal, it's not like out in new construction or residential where it's all they use like, it's all like piecework. They put it together. There's no welding. It's just hammer. Like they call them tin knockers because they just hammer on tin all day. And sometimes it's aluminum ductwork, sometimes steel, depending on if it's like a grease trap or something. But most of the time it's like galvanized steel, pretty much, because corrosion resistance. Yeah. Oh, so in the shipyard, most of the ductwork is stainless steel. So we have to weld it. You're on a ship. There's nothing floating in the air, and at your plant, everything is floating and it's just held down by gravity. It has its support system, but if gravity disappeared, it'd probably just fly into the sky and there goes your entire everything. On the ships, everything has to be locked in place and can't move because the ship moves back and forth. So all your hangers, everything is welded to the ship, and your ductwork everything's welded. So they paired me up, baby me Firewatch. They paired me up with a welder, and that welder had taught me. It was all TIG weld at the time because it's stainless. They outlawed stick stainless, I believe, a couple of years before I entered the industry. So people didn't do that anymore. So when I started, they were TIG welding everything, and I asked, "Hey, what's that? That looks kind of cool. Welding? Can you show me how to do it?" And they're like, "Yeah, okay, no problem." So they started teaching me how to do it on the job, and then I would go during like my breaks, and I was single at the time. It was just me. I didn't live with my parents. They kicked me out when I was 18, which it sucked, but I'm glad they did it because I don't want. This is a side tangent. I don't want people to feel like they have to leave their parents' house, because I think people should stay with their parents as long as possible.
Absolutely.
Even probably until they're married, and even then live close to your parents, because the family community,
you're going to need help.
Yes. So definitely live close to your parents and try to have a good relationship with your parents. I get it. Not everyone has good parents. There's horrible parents out there. But if you have decent parents, try to have a good relationship and try to stay with them as long as possible. If they ask for rent, give them rent. It's way better. I'd rather give my money to my parents than a stupid landlord or some corporation.
And chances are your parents will probably square that away for you, and squirrel it away for you. And then when you move out, take your money back, right?
Yep. And if they don't, at least you know it's going to food that they're probably going to feed you anyway. So
or it's going to sex parties that your parents are going to.
Okay, I don't know your case, but I'm sorry that happened. Or
Daddy's got some explaining to do, bro.
Yeah. That's what all the leather was for in his room, but I didn't ask.
So, hey, you know what? I never understood why my mom had so many whips and shit. You know?
Yeah. She used a few of them on me, but that's for a different reason. So anyways, back on track. Moving out of your parents' house does force you to grow as a person, because it puts you in struggles and you have to just deal with life. So I didn't have anything. I had nothing to go home to. It was just an empty apartment. I didn't even have a bed. I don't think so. I just threw like some sheets on the bed because I was super. It was like $8.50 was minimum wage back then, and I'm in California right now. And back then it was $8.50. So I would go to work, and then during breaks I'd practice welding. After work, I would practice welding in the shop, and then before work I would try to practice welding early. So I try to weld as much as I can, and they always had scrap, and they always had like ductwork that needed to be worked on. And hey, it's free labor pretty much. If I want to, yeah, if I'd ask them, hey, can I do it? And they wouldn't care, whatever. It's ductwork. It's not like it's gonna leak, and they didn't care about it because it's just ventilation. There's no smoke going through it. It's fine.
If you stop and think about it, what you're doing right now is no different than what happened then, right? You said you're not getting paid on the internet yet, right? These videos you're making now, you've only been doing it a year. I didn't start getting any money until about a year and a so in. I'm almost 5 years in. This year will be 5, right? And you're 5 on the internet, man. Wow. But you know, you were doing that work for free, but you were paying yourself in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same with now. You're putting these videos out there for free. Don't worry, man. That shit's coming. It's gonna pay off in tenfold, dude. If I could go back and tell myself at the beginning, man, you know, like I'm monetized on Facebook, and I made $500 off one video last month, right? Like
on Facebook?
On Facebook. All you gotta do is drop the video, and you know, it goes viral. You share it everywhere. You drop a controversial comment in there and you walk away. Just walk away. Man, Facebook is full of old people, and they don't like fucking controversy, you know. They don't mind starting it, but like they don't like seeing it, and they got to put their own 2 cents in. So yeah, and then a video will blow up because it starts like a fucking 1,000 comment thread about how I'm wrong and I'm an idiot and yada yada yada. What they don't realize is every time they come back and comment, that video is getting played, right? So yeah, put that work in, man. Do you pay yourself?
I didn't even know Facebook paid you money. So I just learned something right now.
Are you putting your content on Facebook?
No, I haven't touched Facebook in like 10 years or something like that.
Wow.
My wife always sends me like, I'm 31 right now. So
31. Yeah. Okay. So you're like a baby millennial.
Yes. Well, yeah. I'm borderline millennial, and was it Gen Z?
Gen Z. You're a zillennial. Yeah.
Yeah, zillennial.
Yeah. So, I'm old school millennial, man. I'm like exennial, right? Like, you know, like those couple of years make a big difference, you know.
Well, you're not in your 50s. You said you're 39, 41? No.
Fuck, they'll be 36 and shit.
Okay, see? I'm way off, dude. You're only a few years older than me. That's nothing.
Yeah. No.
You're I think you're right in the middle for millennials though. 36?
Yeah, so I'm not like a full-on zillennial, but like I am at the end of those zillennials, right? It starts getting into like the 90s. I'm right at the end of the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, man. So put that work in. You said you were doing welding for free, right?
Yeah.
Practicing on your own time for nothing. But then, you know, has it paid off since then?
Oh, of course. So I went from $8.50 an hour minimum wage within 1 year, not even a year. It was about a couple months, like 6 or 8 months. I went from $8.50 to a $12 bump to making $24 an hour within less than a year, which is crazy because I did that not just through sheet metal, but I went from sheet metal. I was there every day. I was there all night sometimes. The next shift in the morning would come in, and it'd be some of the foremans coming in. They'd yell at me like, "What the hell are you still doing here? Get your ass out of here!" I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'll go home," because I'd be like sleeping on the welding table. I had nothing to go home to. I don't care. But so when a normal person looks at the time frame, they think, "Oh, only a couple months, 6 months, 8 months, that's nothing." But when you're there 18, 20 hours a day doing it, that time compounds. It's like somebody who says, I have 40 years in the trades or 40 years of experience, but then when they go to work, you're looking at them like, what the hell are you doing? It's because they have 40 years of no growth, 40 years of stagnant work that doesn't do anything for you. So what is the 40 years for? It's nothing. You might as well have 2 years and you'll be at the same level.
Yeah.
So I transitioned a couple months into it from sheet metal to pipe. I talked to the superintendent or the manager at that time, the manager of the pipe department, and asked him, "Hey, do you mind if I practice in your shop?" They welded aluminum, stainless steel, copper, nickel, and steel. So those are the main, and those are the main things they welded. So I asked them, "Hey, can I weld in your shop with all your scrap bins?" Okay. I had to cut the pipe, bevel it, do all that stuff myself. And I just kept practicing. And I focused on TIG. I knew how to stick, but I didn't really care for stick because TIG is so much cleaner. It's nicer. It feels better. So I like TIG. I did a lot of TIG. And that's what happened after I got so proficient in it. I took the test for them and I passed. And then that's when they bumped me up to a journeyman. So technically I was a journeyman welder, even though I've only been welding for a couple months.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And I was one of the few people. I think there was about 2 or 3 other people who did that after me. But I even offered to train people. And the problem I encountered was a lot of young guys that my age, they would see how I quickly became successful.
And that's all they wanted. They didn't see what it took to get there.
Yes. And they would ask, "Hey, can you teach me?" And I would, even though I was, they hired me as a journeyman pipe welder. So I was already welding pipe. And even though I was already paid and I was already welding, I would still stay after, still go to these, do everything off the clock because I still wanted to get better. Yes, they were paying me, but I still wanted to keep improving. Even though I was technically good, I didn't have to do it anymore, but I still wanted to keep improving. So when people ask me, "Hey, can you teach me?" I said, "Yeah, come by after work. Just stop by the shop and I'm going to be there anyways. And I'll show you how to do it." So I would do that. And they'd be every single person. It was like clockwork. They'd ask me how to do it. I'd tell them, "Meet me." They'd meet me for a day. The next day they'd come in, but they'd leave early. And the next day it'd be an excuse. "Oh, I can't tonight because whatever." And then they just never show up again. That happens so many times. And I'm just like, I don't care. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. If you guys want to stop by, you can, and I'll help you. But I don't know. I just saw that issue a lot where people wanted it, but they didn't want to work for it. And I think that's a major issue with a lot of people is they don't want to work for success. They just want success to fall in their lap because they see everyone on social media, all these people who are rich. Usually they have very rich parents and their parents give them money to buy flashy things and to do all this crazy stuff. And people think, "Hey, how do I do that? I want to do that." And then somebody says, "Okay, well, you got to do the work." And they work. What the hell are you talking about? Just give it to me.
Yep.
No, I mean, you don't have rich parents, unfortunately. Most of the population, 99% of us don't have rich parents. So we got to just figure it out.
Think of it like this, man, right? How did you think being a content creator would be? Did you think it was going to be easy? Oh, how hard is it to put a camera in front of my phone and start making videos? That's got to be easy. Upload them, right? Man, how hard is it? How much work have you had to put into this to get? You got 14,000 followers on Instagram, right?
Do I? Oh shoot!
I think you got 14.4.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
So I think you got like 14,000.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Hey.
I don't know. I appreciate that.
14,500 followers on the gram, right? How hard did you have to grind for that?
Yeah. So that's actually, oh my God, dude. I shake my head every time because I would spend hours, days even, thinking of educational stuff to try and entice people to join the trades. Because I do think, I mean, I look at the data. Mike Rowe's been talking about this forever. When you look at the data, people just aren't joining. And when they do join, they quit early. So 80% of people who join the trades quit within 5 or 10 years. Well, within 5 years, because they quit because they're not making money. But you don't make money until 4 or 5 years, because that's when you become a journeyman technically, especially in the union. But most places are like that. So a lot of people quit early. But with the people who quit early, there's also the people who are aging out of it and retiring. So we have a deficit of people who are quitting early or just not joining, and and people who are retiring. So it's like I'm going to say a 2-to-1 retire to hire ratio, but I know it's more than that. It's like a 2.8 or a 3.2. I forget the number, but we're in a deficit, and we're going to continue to be in a deficit.
Oh yeah,
and yes, and if we continue on this trajectory, what's going to happen? And everyone, I hear the case of, hey, why don't we just keep hiring immigrants? That works to an extent because you still have to do the training. And a lot of times it's harder for them to do training to actually become good at the job because they don't speak the language.
Absolutely.
There's a culture difference. There's a whole different type of ball game you got to play with them. Whereas if you were a Canadian or an American, it's a lot easier for you to jump into it and learn because you're already one step ahead. But a lot of guys don't want to do that because they think you're not making any money, which if people knew how much money you can make in the trades, they would be all over it.
Sick.
A lot of people see, oh, I'm only making $22 an hour being a laborer or being a shop welder, because you're doing those type of jobs. Don't be a shop welder. Everybody knows people who work in a shop are going to make less money because it's consistent work and it's less, it's not as difficult. I'll just put it that way. You don't need to be as good to do it.
I know what you're saying.
So if you're working out, get in the field, go join a pipeline, go join a refinery, go offshore, go travel. If you're single, go travel. Don't get held down in some relationship. You're young, just go do whatever you want, man. And I don't think you should waste your time when you're young partying. That's the stupidest thing that was another thing. That's good.
Good. I don't do anything. I've been with my wife since we were 17. We moved out on our own across the country. We moved 3,000 kilometers away. I don't know what that is in miles, but we moved 3,000 kilometers away. So 30 hours drive or a 5-hour plane ride when we were 18, right? You know, we had nobody and we still have nobody. Here we are all these years later. We have no family around us. Now we've got 2 kids, right? Now we got
That's
2
impressive.
Kids. It's just us, man. We've made it work. We did what we had to do.
You're brave. I don't know, man. It's hard to move away from family.
I
moved to Texas for like 2 years, and it was definitely difficult being away from family because you lose that support structure.
Yep.
But so I'm impressed you guys did it. I mean, that's pretty good. That's good.
Well, what's this now? Fuck. Almost, holy shit, dude. It's almost been, well, yeah, we were together less than a year when we moved out west, right? So it's been almost 20 years since we moved away from family, right? Oh, dude, that makes me sick just thinking about that. Holy shit.
You dog. Less than a year you knew her and you guys already moved cross country? What the heck?
Yeah. Well, we were in high school when we got together, right? And we finished out high school, and then we lived in the same in our town. We moved out together almost right away. The graduation cap went up in the air, and we moved out that August, right? And we lived there for a couple months, and then she had family on the West Coast, so we fucked off to the West Coast. We were warned about it. We didn't do nothing about it. We had to learn on our own. It didn't work out. So then we went back east just a little bit. Like we went from Vancouver to Banff, and then Banff we went Saskatoon. And then Saskatoon, we went to Edmonton. Edmonton, we went back to Ontario for a year and a half. We went back home. Turns out family isn't everything. Blood ain't thicker than that ass, my man. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
And it's true. You know, here's what was hard about that for both of us, I think. You know, you grow up in your household and everybody is a key member of your household. The mom, the dad, the kids. Everyone's a key member, right? Then you move out and you realize you weren't shit in that house, right? You aren't shit in that house, you know. They moved on without you. And at first, that fucking stings, right? You know, that house lost a family member that was a key part of it. It still went on. They still function. They still live their life, which is fair. They got to, right? But you go back home and like everyone's still functioning. They're excited to see you when you come visit, but that's no longer your home, right?
Yeah.
You can never go home again. Once you leave, you can never go back. You can try, but it ain't going to work out that well, right? Once you get a taste of that freedom, you've set your own rules, you set your own bars, right? You've become your own person. You become an adult. You try to go back home, and mom and dad are like, please don't leave the house at this time. Please be respectful of the food you eat. And you know what I mean? So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can never truly go home again.
Damn, I don't know. I couldn't imagine you're an adult, you have your own family, you move back home, and you're getting
Well, you don't have
rules.
your own family yet. You don't have your own family yet, right? We went back home. We moved in with the family, with
Yes.
her parents, and I tried, a little bit with mine, but like didn't work. But like, they have their own rules. It's been fucking, let's say 10 years. It's been 10 years since you lived under their roof. It's been 10 years since, you ate supper with them every night. It's got up with them since you struggled together as a family, since you won together as a family, right? Now you're off doing your own thing, and the values that you hold in your life, they've changed from that, right? And now you got to try to integrate back into what they've had going now for 30 years or more, right? You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I can't imagine someone trying to like another adult trying to enforce rules on you. I mean, it's their house. You respect them in their house. But I mean, how crazy of rules are we talking about? Like, you lights out at 7:00. That's, I don't know.
Well, you don't
That's
want
an
to be too
interesting
loud in
scenario.
their house, right? They're older people now. You don't want to be too loud past 7:00. Like dinner's at 4:30, and they're old now, right?
Yeah.
But no, so we moved back out, right? We moved back. We're like, nah. So we moved back out, and now we're over here. And you know what? We miss you. We miss you. Yeah. Well, how come you never come visit?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's and when you go back home, you spend all those years away, damn near a decade away. You go back home, and sometimes it's hard to see your friends in the same spot you left them in, right?
Yeah.
You've done all this evolving and growing, and you've had a family, and you get back, and they're still in their party phase. They're still living with dad. They're still, which is not that big of a deal, but they're still stuck, and they're stuck. You can see they're stuck, right? And that's hard.
And there's a difference between still living with your parents and doing nothing, and living with your parents and growing and working on something. If you're working on building yourself or building a future, living with your parents, perfect. If you're looking on doing nothing and you're living with your parents, you gotta change right now, because you're just like a leech on society, unfortunately.
Oh, yep.
You gotta change, because first off, I don't know how you can do that. How do you not provide anything, any value? Because what's the point of life if you don't provide value to anything or anyone?
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's a big issue with people, how do I put this? Living for themselves, I guess, if you could say that. Not wanting to do anything, just what can I do to make myself happy? What can I do to take everything for myself? And then who cares about anyone? Who cares about family? Who cares about kids? Who cares about any of this stuff? At that point, you think, why are you here? Why are you alive? Like, I don't understand what the purpose of life, even if you're not religious, what is the purpose of life? To just live for yourself, I guess. I don't know. I just think it's interesting when people are so righteously selfish, which is, I don't know. It's just weird to me.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that. Before we go too much further, where can people find you on the socials? Because, like, we gotta take care of that. Usually, I'm like at an hour, I'm like asking that, but like, 33 minutes in, like, we're gonna try something new here. Like, if no one's following along in an hour, like maybe at 33 minutes, hey, where can we find you on the socials?
Well, you got my name. I just do Jacob Michael Jordan, whatever, on everything. I keep it all the same. YouTube, Instagram and TikTok. That's really all I do.
How many followers you got on the talk?
Not as many. Instagram is so good. Instagram is popping off. TikTok, not as much. I've had a few videos get like a couple million, but nothing compared to Instagram.
Yeah. What was your highest viewed video on Instagram?
On Instagram?
Yeah.
27 million.
27.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that one was like a 5-second video. I used the sound from Luke White, which is I don't know if he's a singer. I don't know exactly what he does, but I think he's a singer. People say he's a singer, but all of his content is that I've seen so far is just like subverting expectations. Like, here's a song I wrote about a country boy. Dirt, 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 dirt. Just him saying stupid stuff. So I took a sound from that, which subverted the expectation, and I used it when I was at a job site. I was at a job site for residential construction, and I was recording myself, and I used the sound as an overlay for that. And people just thought it was so hilarious, and that one blew up like crazy. I didn't know how Instagram worked. A lot of people were yelling at me in the cut because that was like, I was just, just posting stuff because I wasn't doing any crazy tags. You do hashtags, but that's about it. And you do the title. I didn't know how it works. So I just posted the video, and a lot of comments were getting mad at me. Like, you stole this from Luke White. And I'm like, who's that? I guess I just saw this funny sound and I used it. I was like, okay. So I looked up, and everyone was telling me like, you should at him or tag him or do something.
Yeah.
So I just added that in the comments because I don't know how to. I honestly still don't know how to. If you can't edit,
I think
like
you can edit.
You can edit a post.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I still didn't know that, and I was just like, okay. So I just made a pinned comment about, hey, this is the original guy who made the sound, Luke White, and he even commented on the video. And Luke White has like tens of millions of followers, so this guy's like crazy popular. And he even commented, so I was like, and he was cool with it. So I was like, okay, that's nice of him to help, like, kind of condone. But yeah, that was my most famous video so far. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, TikTok, I think, is like a couple thousand followers. Like I said, not as good as Instagram. TikTok, it is easier to make money because you only need a certain threshold of followers to start making money. I think 10,000 followers on TikTok you need to make money.
I'm Canadian. We don't make money on TikTok. We're Canadian famous. We like to call it. We're Canadian famous means we're poor.
Well, I don't know. So I don't want to get into. I was going to ask about Trudeau because I heard he's resigning finally.
Whoa, no. We'll get.
I don't want to get into that.
He didn't resign. He prorogued Parliament, which means nobody can do shit for like the next couple weeks. Basically what he did is he's not taking responsibility for what he's done over the last decade, which is decimate Canada. He prorogued it. What he said is, I will resign after an extensive search for a new party leader. So what's happening is tomorrow, I believe it was, Parliament's back in session. The NDP, which is the far, far left, and the Conservative, which is on the right, they were going to hold a vote of non-confidence. And if a vote of non-confidence passed in the House, which it would have, and he knows that, we would have been forced into a snap election, right? Boom, snap election. It happens right now. And what would have happened there is the Liberal Party would have been decimated, destroyed, 6 seats, gone, right? Like, that's all they would have had. They're not even party status at 6 seats. So that right now, what he's doing is he's saying, and he smirked the whole time he did it. All he did was talk about his successes that he had, and all the members of Parliament that called for his resignation, they thanked him for everything that he's done, all the good that he'd done in the last 10 years. And we're like, no, what they're doing is they're putting the party ahead of it because they know that most Canadians, they don't see him as the Liberal Party. They see him as a separate entity of the Liberal Party, and then there's the Liberal Party. So what him stepping aside after they find a new party leader does, what that does is it saves the party, and most people will be like, ooh, I like this leader. Not forgetting that they are him and he is them.
Yeah.
Right? So now this new leader has a chance to come in and give a blowy to everybody. And yeah, pretty much. And people will be
I
like,
get
"Oh my
it.
god, I like this person," forgetting what just happened.
Yeah.
Right? And that is not good for democracy. That's not democracy. Once again, you're doing the exact opposite of what you keep saying you want to do, right?
So, and then you got to think about, these are real people. These are humans who are falling for this over and over again. And you got to think, are they paid? Who are these people? I mean, I have met people who actually are so caught up in politics. Like, politics, I think, is a load of BS. Nobody should
Yes.
be getting worked up about politics. Nobody should be exiling their family because they politically lean one way or another. Who cares, you guys? Who
Yep.
cares? So I just think it's interesting. And well, speaking of politics, so so I'm gonna segue a little
Go ahead,
bit.
man.
But
Go ahead.
speaking of politics, you reminded me. Uh, After I moved on from the shipyards, I got into new construction, and after about a couple of years in new construction, I wanted to go into like more senior position. So I got into, that's what I moved into Texas for, is I went as a foreman. So I was a foreman for a little bit, and I was foreman for 2 years in Texas before I moved back to California. And I got to tell you, the politics, dude, it's like, can you guys shut the hell up with all this stupidity and just let us do our job?
Yep.
I've had so many times people will deny requests on material cost, deny change orders, do all this like lobbying pretty much about why we can't. They'd always complain. They'd always talk about, they do anything they can not to do the job.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what, guys, this is what we're paid to do. And you guys are just trying to, not only that, but they'd also try and cut corners all the time. I'm like, guys, we're paid to do this, and you're trying not to do the work we're paid to. You're trying to get one over on the people. And then they'll
Yep.
complain, well, they're getting one over on us. The project managers, the general contractors are getting one over on us. So we're trying to get them back. It's like, is this what this is all about?
I
That
think right
we can't
here is
do the
why
job?
we're having a hard time filling labor, the labor pool. Right now, our parents, as millennials, our parents told us, because it worked for them, because they grew up in an easier time. Our parents told us, put your nose to the grind, not good, put your nose to the grind, work hard, do whatever you got to do for that company, be a yes man, and the company will take care of you. And us as millennials, we're like, all right. So we did it. We put our nose to the grind. We did what we had to do. We became yes men. Not all of us, but a lot of us became yes men and women. And we did our damn thing, right? And the company shit all over us as millennials. They shit. Look at the pandemic. It wasn't just millennials, it was everybody. Grayson Magaha said everyone went from being needed to expendable overnight, right? And so
remember that title they put on workers,
essential.
essential. So if you got laid off, you're non-essential. So what does that do to you mentally? You
What
think,
does
why
that
do I even,
fucking do to you, right?
why do I'm
Right.
I'm not an essential member of society, so why am I working?
Right. Now look at what the Gen Z, look at what
Gen
Gen
Z.
Z is doing now. You know, oh, why doesn't Gen Z want to work? Why doesn't Gen Z want to work? Because they fucking watched us do it and get shit on. They watched us grind it out. They watched us do it all. And just like mommy and daddy told us to do. And it didn't work for us. So now, yeah, they don't want to lift fucking concrete blocks, and they don't want to weld, and they don't want to drive heavy equipment. What's all the rage right now? I'm going to be a fucking meme lord on the internet. I'm going to make videos on the internet. I'm going to shake my ass on the internet. I'm going to show them badonkadonks.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get paid that way. You know, look at Haley Welch. Spit on that thing and give it a hot tool. She said that, and she made $10 million since then.
Yeah. Well, not including the crypto
What
thing.
kind of message does that send?
Not including the crypto thing, right?
Not included, man. Not included. No,
the classic pump and dump. Yeah.
man. like what kind of message does that send, right? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Now
Well, you
everybody
look
wants
at
to go
you
viral.
look at what is mainstream media and what is mainstream media, news, movies, internet, whatever. What does that prioritize?
Sex.
Provocative sex, exactly. And who are the people? They're getting younger and younger each time.
They're getting
So
younger.
as a young, especially young girl growing up, that's all you've seen. What does that do to you? What does that tell you about how
Yep.
society functions?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and I
It's
mean,
hard.
and then you have people like, I know people love Andrew Tate. I get it. I get some of the things he says; they make sense. But
I had this
when you think
conversation
about how
2
he
hours
makes his,
ago, dude. I
when
had
you
this
think about how
exact
he makes his
conversation.
money, it's exploitation. He's like an online pimp. So
Yep.
you think about what he did to make the money, and then you think of, yeah, he's part of the problem. Yes, he knows what to say to get you on his side because he
Does
says
he?
things that make
Okay,
sense.
yes. I get what you're saying. Yep.
Yes, he says things that make sense, but then he'll do the opposite of what he's saying to make money.
Yeah.
So it's like, do as I say, not as I do.
Why do people like Andrew Tate exist though? Right? I had this conversation today, like 2 hours ago, right? In today's society, Western society, men are treated like shit, right?
That's
We
true.
are. We're nothing. Why is it that a man's obligation to a man is obligated by the legal side of shit? He's legally bound to his marriage, right? Legally. A woman can leave whenever she wants, right? If a woman wants to leave her marriage, all a woman has to do, I want to leave. And she's celebrated. Yeah, girl, go get that independence. Leave that piece of shit. A man is treated like trash. He wants to leave instantly because he's a provider and he's supposed to be there and not turn his back on his family. He's treated like shit. He's the villain. He's the bad guy in everybody's story. I've had this conversation so many times, right? He is the bad guy in everybody's story when he walks away, but she is not. And she's entitled to fucking everything. Everything, right? And
over 80% of divorces are initiated by the woman, by the way.
Men, I had this conversation. Men will leave when they're ready. Women will leave when they found someone else, right? So if a woman is ready but has no one else to love her, and she doesn't have any financial security, as soon as the next guy walks through that door, which could be troublesome, which could not be a good thing, as soon as the next guy that walks to that store that says the right thing to her comes, she's gone. Right? Yeah. Right? Andrew Tate, why guys like him exist is because of the way society treats their men. And it's only in the Western world where I just had this conversation, man. So why are Western men, going and seeking women, Filipino women, African women? Why? I asked this question a couple times and they're like, oh, jungle fever, yada, yada, yada. No,
it's the value system, the servitude system. Yes.
That woman from Asia or Africa, she will fucking do what she needs to do and love you for it because she doesn't like that situation that's happening. She can't survive over there, right? She can't. She sees a big, strong man over here who makes money and he's willing to do anything for her. Anything. Treat her like
it's also a culture thing. A lot of those
100%.
communities have a really good family culture system set up.
Yeah, absolutely that too.
In America, everyone's a girl boss. And I don't need no man. I'm strong, independent.
Yep.
I mean, that's fine, but
Andrew Tate
if you don't need, but women substitute in America their love, their servitude of the family to a servitude of a man who gives them a paycheck every day. Either way, they're serving a guy. I don't care if the CEO is a woman. Yeah, but who does she get money from? Yeah. It's most likely a guy. So it's just a trickle-down system of I'm not serving my family, and just because the man's the head of household, I mean, who cares really? But it's just,
so here's the thing,
one or another.
Andrew Tate said this the best, and it's the rage factor. Everyone's mad, so they cling to what sounds good, and Andrew Tate can fucking make himself sound good, but he's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. You got to be smart enough to read between the bullshit. Yeah. So what was that? 2% of the men are getting all the women, right? Because Women see a guy who's looks handsome and he's chiseled and he's making money, driving a nice car, but he's not a nice fucking dude. He will beat you. He will cheat on you. He will get rid of you, and you're expendable to him. You got Buddy over here who's eating a cheeseburger because he's depressed because he can't get a woman, and he looks a little heavier. He's a nice guy. Maybe he makes some money too. Maybe he doesn't. Who knows? But he will treat you like a fucking queen, right? And you look at him and you're like, ew, that's disgusting. All Buddy wants is some love, and maybe that cheeseburger goes away. Maybe he's fucking 40 or 50 pounds lighter. Maybe he's chiseled because right now he's depressed because he can't get anybody, right? And that's also wrong. You can't fucking determine your whole happiness off of that. But we are a species that thrives, and our continued existence relies on it, mating and finding a suitable partner, right? You don't need to find a suitable partner, but you need to fuck anyways, right? But like, yeah. No, man, it's all really interesting. It's all really when you stop and you look at things and you follow the money trail. Follow that fucking money trail and you'll find all the world's problems.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay. I'm not gonna say it here. But if you do follow the money trail, it always leads to a very similar place. But I'm not going to get into that because that's for another time, and I don't want to get into conspiracies.
So
it's just observation, but I
want to go back to
it's observed history.
I want to go back to the company politics.
Oh no! Oh yes. Thank you. Company politics.
Company politics. Last 2 summers ago now, I've been at I work somewhere else in the summertime. I work on a road crew, and I'm fairly high up the chain, I guess you could say. Like, I've been there for almost a decade. One of the longest people there. Probably, in line to, get a promotion, become part of management of some sort soon, right? So heavy equipment operator there, and they lean heavily on me for a lot of other shit. And 2 years ago, I started watching how they treat specific people, right? And I'm like, that's interesting. And yes, I was one of those specific people, but also I was not. I got treated better than this group of people, but way worse than this group. And so I dove into the company box of politics, and I should have closed it. Oh shit! Hold on one sec. The car just shut off. I'm in the car, so hold on one sec. Uh-oh. Where's that button? Uh-oh. That's nothing a little editing can't fix. Yeah. So
I saw in the background like a ghostly figure slowly creeping towards your window. That was kind of weird.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
So
it's a Wendigoon. Watch out.
I dove into the company box politics, and I should have closed it, but I didn't. And I found where they value me, how they value me, the hypothetical box. And I really dove deep and I paid attention to it. And I had the worst fucking summer of my life. The worst. Because I got it up here where I was set, where they had me. And I didn't like it. I played the company politics game right back. And, they didn't like it too much. But, I apologized for it at the end. But, they understood in a way. It was...
Go into a little more detail. I know you're trying to beat around the bush, but go into a little more detail of what the problem was that you saw and how you responded to the problem.
Everyone's treated equally in their eyes, so they said. But that was not necessarily true, right? You had some guys that got perks, and maybe they bargained for them. Maybe they're like, hey, I want to be here, but I need this, right? And hey, if you can get that for yourself, looking back at it, if you could bargain something into your job that makes you a little bit happier, hey, who am I to stop you, right?
Was it a union job?
No.
Oh, well, then that's all private companies are, it's bargaining. That's how you get your raises. People always complain, oh, I'm never going to get a raise. The boss didn't give me a raise. Have you asked? Have you bargained for a raise? That's what private companies are for. If you don't want to bargain, go to a union. So sorry, continue with what you were saying. You bargained, and
it was just really frustrating. And Yeah, man. I didn't like it. I was really down in the dumps mentally about it, and I didn't know what to do about it for a couple months. You know, it was a long couple of months, like 3 4 months.
So what what spot did they put you in? Where did you align in the value system for the company?
Um, fucking, I'd been there for 10 years. I give him everything, right? And I felt like I deserved more than a guy who just showed up. Not money wise. Fuck, I get paid really good. But like, in terms of the perks of the job, I bargained for this the next year, so it worked. But just employee retention. If you've been here, let's say 5 years, 5 years or more, you get your own room when we travel on the road. But 5 years or less, you haven't earned that right yet, right? You got to bunk up with someone. And last year, because I complained a lot about it, that last summer that just passed, we all got our own room. Everybody, whether you were here for fucking 2 months or fucking 15 years.
So do you think the person, when they gave the new guys, or the new guy, I don't know how many people it was, when they gave the new person their own room, do you think that was just because they had an extra one available? Or do you think they
No.
were purposely, so they specifically looked out for this guy to give him his own? Or was it
Yeah.
multiple people? Was it one person?
There
Or
was multiple people.
okay.
If there was one, then that would be it, right? But there was multiple that could have shared.
So don't you think that that's a good thing? Because you mentioned before how the boomers or Gen X, the older people will say, this is how we've always done it. So we should continue to do it because it's what's worked. I also heard, very similar to what you're referring to, is a lot of older guys said, I had to crawl through the mud to get where I'm at. So I also want someone to crawl through the mud to get through the at, even though they necessarily don't have to.
I see what you're saying. He crawled so you could walk.
Yes.
Got
So
you.
do you
I
think
got
that might have been at
Could've
play,
been.
or do you think it might have been just favoritism in general?
I think there was a little favoritism there. I know 100% there was. But same job. This one woman said to me, "Why are you so hard on that person?" And I'm like, "Some days you're the ant, and some days you're the boot, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, but don't you want to be the boot that steps a little less harder on the ant than what you got stepped on?" And I was fucking mind blowing. So now, like I don't know if she listens to Shelby, man, like crazy perspective there.
So that is one thing I brought with me. That's one reason I wanted to become a foreman, and just in general. Going through, I'd always have gripes with leadership. I'd always wonder, why are they not getting stuff done? Why they got to make the job? Why do they make the job harder? Why do they not have things ready for us? Why are there all these issues with the job? Isn't that the foreman's job to take care of it?
Yep.
So I wanted to become a foreman. And also, why are the guys treated like crap? Why do you treat these guys like crap? I don't understand it. Even guys who weren't necessarily doing a bad job, once they get a reputation, even though it's not a true if it's like a he said she said type of deal, and they get a reputation off of that, and it's not true, but they still get the reputation, they'll be treated differently. And I saw that happen, and I'm wondering, why are these people in leadership doing this? Like, not researching what people are telling them, just going with the flow and treating certain people differently or worse than other people. Why do they make the job difficult? Why do they create groups? Why do they attack other people? This doesn't make any sense. So thankfully I had starting off good foremans, good supervisors, and that helped give me a foundation of how I should be. So when I became a foreman, I took that mentality to treat my guys with respect, to actually go over the job with them, to check up on them and ask them, hey, how are you doing? What do you need? Are we running low on this? I mean, most of the time I knew if we were having issues because I was already on top of it anyways. But you're not going to know everything, so you need to rely on your guys. And how are you going to rely on your guys if your guys don't trust you? If you're throwing them under the bus every second you get? I'd see that all the time. Like, they'll talk great to a guy's face, and then as soon as they turn their back, oh, this piece of crap. Get him off I hate this guy. I can't wait to fire him. I hear that a lot too. People would bosses would talk about they love firing people. You like taking away people's means of providing for themselves or for their family? That is kind of messed up. So
Kinda.
yeah. So when I got into that, I said I want to be different. And I was hit with so many roadblocks. And I kind of understand where some people were coming from, where why aren't they doing this? I would get roadblocked all the time, and I never understood why. It's just people like making your job difficult. But I did try to treat my guys as good as I possibly could. I didn't like writing people up. I have tried to avoid it at all costs. I'd try to talk to them as much as possible, like stop showing up late. That was the biggest thing. Most of the guys were competent in their work. Every now and again, you'd get a guy who, like I said, I had a guy who was there. He said he had 25, 30 years of experience, but he was having trouble tightening a flange bolt. And I'm like, dude, what is the issue? I had to get in there. He even snapped. We were throwing in a butterfly valve, and it was a thread bolt. So there was no nut at the end. It was just straight bolt. And he had snapped it. And this was like a 14-inch, 15-inch piece of pipe. So the valve is like 14, 15-inch, or 16-inch. And he snapped the bolt inside. He snapped the head off the bolt. So the threads were stuck inside. I'm like, dude, what the hell? And I gave him the tool, the bolt extractor, to get it out of there, or whatever it's called, the thread extractor, bolt, whatever. And he spent 2 days working on that. And finally, every time I ask him, hey, how's it going? Oh man, it's almost there. It's almost there. And finally, I'm like, dude, I've had enough. Get your ass out of there. I'm getting in there. In like 20 minutes, I got it done. I'm like, I'm trying to treat you guys with respect. But when you guys do the stupidest freaking things ever, it's like, dude, help me out. I'm trying to help you as much as possible. Oh my God. So yeah, it's like you try to treat people with respect and dignity, but yeah. So that's the whole point of why I got into that. And the problem that you were talking about, how, I got to stomp on these guys. I'm the boot and they're the ant. You don't have to be. You can be a bigger ant. You can be a red ant, still able to kill the small ant, but you don't. You're not just constantly crushing them. You're working alongside of them. And when they get out of line, you eat them up or whatever the other colony does. I mean, anyways. But yeah.
I'm calling this fucking episode King of the Ants.
Just on that one topic? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
What power to you?
I don't know what it, I don't. I got a question for you, buddy. Do you know what viscosity is?
You're just gonna have to tell me, because I know I have an idea, but if I try to say it, I'm gonna sound like an idiot. So I'm just gonna say I don't know what it is.
It's like a resistance to flow, like a
oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So where I'm going with it is the podcast is sponsored by the Mudman, and the Mudman deals, with viscosity. He deals in thick loads. He wants to know how thick your load is, right? Like he's like, boy, show me that thick load. Hey, you're not in your mid-30s yet. You're gonna see, right? So the Mudman, he deals in like Viz cups and all that other shit, all that, and for all your laboratory testing equipment needs and all your drilling fluid stuff, the Mudman's got your back. He wants to know what that fucking load looks like, right? And I love the guy, man. He helped us out way back at the beginning with a headset and a mic, and when things weren't good, with audio wise. And then this past summer, he hooked us up with a brand new MacBook Pro, and we're recording on the MacBook now. We were on the phone for a while, and it was hard doing it on the phone, but we're doing it on the MacBook now. And yeah, man, the Mudman, I fucking love that guy. He's down.
Okay, always. So let's go into the Mudman.
Okay.
What exactly is his product?
His product, like technology, right? Like he's got high vis cups where you're testing the viscosity of the fluid, right? You want to know if you got to add more or take away, right? So like
of what fluids? Oh, drilling. So drilling for what?
Drilling for oil and gas, whatever they got to drill for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Drilling for oil and gas. So, the Viz cups, they were just fucking cups, right? And now he's got like not proper measurements. Now he's got like digital shit on it that tells you exactly how much is in there. You can get your fucking thing right down to the fucking exact number you need it, right? And man, I love that guy, dude. God love that guy.
So in your industry, why do you care about viscosity of the
So
fluid you're extracting?
viscosity, is the resistance to flow, right? So when they're putting down hole, if they need to make the mud more viscous, so they don't have any flow back up to the top, right? And kill the well, so they don't fuck. What the fuck was that word, dude? Wow, I am fucking butchering this, dude. Thank you. Wow, dude. Wow, so they don't lose circulation.
I'm sure he's gonna send you an email right after this.
Dude, I'm losing my sponsorship.
Uh-oh, sorry about that.
We can go on to the next one. The podcast is also sponsored by NWT Safety and Brasco Safety, right? For all your PPE, you need PPE and like high vis gear. You need a new jacket. You need hard hat. You need new steel toe boots. I got your back, man. You go to Brasco. You go to NWT. BrascoSafety.com or NWTSafety.com, two different ones, and you use code FROST10, you save yourself 10%. But also I got poker chips now, and the poker chips I've been hiding around the mall, and I've been hiding them on site, and anytime anyone sees me, they ask for one. The poker chip gives you the top tier discount at NWT Safety. So they're like, here you go.
Or do they ship global?
Brasco ships internationally. Most of their shit is shipped out of the US, so yes. I'm not sure about NWT though. I'm gonna ask about that. Yeah.
So no European. They don't care about Europe at all.
I don't think they care about Europe, man. I think
no Australia, nothing.
No Australia. I just had an Australian on the podcast.
Who was it?
That was cool, making a 15-hour time difference work. FIFA Toa. He deals in fly in fly out jobs offshore stuff like that. He's got a lot going on. Yeah, man. He's a pretty solid guy. Yeah.
Awesome. So nice. You got through your sponsorships. Honestly, that's great. You've only been doing you've been doing this what? You said 2 years?
Yeah, almost 2 years. Oh 2 years. Shit. When does this episode come out? Because if this episode comes out not today, next Tuesday, the 14th, I think that is exactly 2 years since the very first episode debuted. Today might be the
2-year mark.
Anniversary.
Let's go.
Happy anniversary, buddy.
Happy anniversary. Yeah, 2 years. 2 years
we
strong.
Kiss now or later?
Wait.
Other way.
No. Well, on my screen it's this way. So you're over here?
Yeah.
Okay, so no, hey, you gotta say no homo though.
No homo.
My wife might be watching, okay?
Oh, fuck, then homo.
Well, hold on, let me So
I see what you did there. You're trying to get me to kiss your ass.
Yes. A classic prank. The
old who laughs last thinks the slowest. So
oh, damn, that was me.
That was me. I laughed last.
Oh. It must have been the delay.
Must have been. Yeah, we'll blame it on the delay. We're both pretty slow. We're autistic. Yeah.
It's that Canada America delay. It's
Oh, buddy, we burned down your White House in fucking 18 something, and you guys haven't recovered.
If only you would have sold us the west coast of Canada like you were going to, so we could get to Alaska. But no, you guys had to deny the deal.
Hey,
just become the 51st state already. All right.
I'm there.
2025 is the year. You know how much
is the year.
It'll be so much easier for travel, for deliveries, for products. It'll be so much easier.
And Florida, no problem. I could do it no problem now.
You don't need your passport.
I don't need my passport.
Yeah, just crossing states.
I'm out of the USA.
We can give you guys all the gun laws here, and you guys will be set.
My God, we don't have no gun laws, man. So they just banned another 300 and some odd weapons. And my buddy got an email, and I've heard this a lot from other people's. When they banned 300, when they banned 300 more weapons, they got an email asking to donate their now illegal guns to Ukraine. Yep.
Why don't we just buy them? Okay, the guns that Russia gave the Middle East, we need to go back there and buy them from the Middle East to give them to Ukraine. We can get them cheap over there in the Middle East. They have so many AKs that we just give them to the Russians or the
How
Ukrainians, and it's
about
fine.
how about we put Zelensky and Putin? Have you seen fucking John Wick Parabellum yet?
That's a new one, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So how
I
about we
have.
get them to do a duel, right? And
Oh,
they
yes.
start off at a certain distance away, they shoot, and they get closer and closer every shot until one is no longer standing. That's the winner. That's how we deal with shit now.
I mean, we could, but if it's also going to be like that, who is going to... the main guy died, or whatever his name was. Spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it. Spoiler alert.
John Wick?
The evil guy died. No, not John Wick. The other guy. John Wick had... He's never going to die.
They're
never going to kill him.
No.
Honestly, after the first 2 John Wicks, I didn't really care that much because it's all the same. It's like recycled content, really.
John Wick was a movie they didn't need to do a second one of, but I'm glad
That's
they
true.
fucking did. And then the second one was
Yeah.
like, please don't do another one. This is amazing. And then they did.
Yeah.
And they're like,
They
oh
kept
my
doing it.
God, could they do it? Don't make another one. This one is just as good.
No,
And then they made another one, and it was like, I'm eating this shit up. It's like the Fast and the Furious franchise, man.
As soon as I saw the dogs attacking people, I'm like, can we stop? What is going on here? It got from cool like reality where it's based in reality. Obviously, it's not super realistic, but it's based in reality. It went from that to just like any other movie you see where the action just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I got a question for you. Since we're into 2025 now, new year, new me, new year,
new year, new me. Okay.
Yeah. What is one thing that you took away from 2024 that you want to, maybe work on in 2025?
Man, you're really gonna call me out like that?
Oh, buddy, the final question is even worse. So don't even.
I don't know, man. I don't like doing New Year's resolutions or anything like that.
Well, isn't it a resolution? Just something you learned. Just something you learned.
You never know what's... I don't know, man. You never know how something's gonna blow up or pop off or something like that. Because like I said, oh man, this is huge callback from the beginning of the podcast. When I was spending days thinking about like researching, creating, filming, editing, days on one video, days. When I would spend that time, I would post it and nobody cared. And this was like thoroughly researched, accurate information that I thought people would like, because that's, I don't know, if you're in the construction industry, you thought you might like to know that, or if you want to get into it, it's information that might be useful for you. Nobody cared. I post the stupidest meme ever, and everyone loves it. I didn't even think about it. I just didn't close my eyes and, oh, this, whatever, I'll post it. Everyone loves it. And I'm just like, I guess this is, I guess this is what you guys want. You guys don't care about well thought out educational stuff.
They don't.
You just
want really don't.
Brain rot, pretty much. You want more Skibidi toilet, whatever. You want more Hawk Tuas, I guess, whatever. So yeah, it was just, that's definitely something I saw, and I was just, I mean, you look at people gushing over Kim Kardashian and all these stupid shows, and it makes sense what people enjoy. I don't understand it. To me personally, it's the dumbest thing ever, and I hate that kind of stuff. Yeah. But I guess people find it entertaining. I don't know why, but I can't. I am not one to say what is good or what's bad. The people decide that, and people have decided that that's good.
Yep.
Whether it's an algorithm, artificially pushing that to make it seem like it's good.
Yep.
Because I know that was an issue with YouTube a while ago, where a lot of mainstream media, SNL, like Jimmy Kimmel, all these like what's it called? Like these corporate media, they were being pushed to the top of the algorithm because that's what YouTube wanted, or they were paying YouTube. I don't know.
Yep.
So I know that was a big problem. Maybe that's still going on with content we see, where they're trying to force us into stupidity. to change our like mentally, like it's a mental issue where they make us dumber on purpose so we're easy to control.
They're 100% doing that.
So I don't know. Call me conspiracy theorist, okay? By the way, I love conspiracy theories. I love conspiracies.
A conspiracy, and the truth is, it's only 6 months.
Science, yeah. I was gonna say time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. One thing I took away from 2024, and it took me damn near the entire year to learn the hard way, and all of my life, unexpressed expectations lead to premeditated resentment. Yeah.
And that goes along with the road crew that you're mentioning.
That goes along with a lot of shit in my life. Jobs, relationships, home, friendships. Unexpressed expectations lead to premeditated resentment.
If my wife could hear you now, she'd be hooting and hollering and cheering. I've been telling you this forever. I'll be honest, I'm like the worst communicator when it comes to stuff like that because I don't want to talk about that stuff. I don't care. I don't want to talk about my feelings or any stuff like that. I don't want to talk. To me, it's not something. Why do you care? First of all, I mean, a woman's gonna care because they're programmed to do that. They're programmed to care. But me, I growing up, nobody ever cared what I think or like what I feel, I guess you could say.
Same, man.
Yeah. So why am I going to express that? Why would you care? First of all,
I'm a man. Why? Nobody's ever cared what a man has had to say.
That's true. And most people, 99.9% of people still don't. Nope. It's going to be probably your wife is probably the only one who actually cares, unfortunately.
Oh, fuck. And she just rolls her eyes most of the time.
Okay, so it's 100% of people. Oh, your daughters.
No, my fucking daughters roll their eyes harder. My daughters will look at me in the eyes and be like, fuck you.
They're not even teenagers yet. What happened, bro?
They're not teenagers yet, man. I did that, though. I thought it'd be funny to teach them curse words. And my youngest daughter...
It is funny.
My youngest daughter is a savage, right? Oh, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Uh-oh. Baby, come back. Come back. Come back. Where are you? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So Jacob's laptop just died. He said he'll be back in a moment. Man, I am so excited for upcoming episodes of this podcast. I just got an email back today from someone I've been trying to get on for months. I posted everywhere on the socials. It's probably going to be an upcoming live episode. I could say it was Diener from Fubar, I'm excited for that episode. We're just working on a date and a time right now. Probably going to happen when I'm at home on days off. We got an upcoming episode of Stephanie the Smudger also happening when I'm on days off. Check her out. She's pretty cool, actually. I really enjoy her content. Yeah, man. Today's episode that dropped is with John from the Forgotten Working Class. So if you haven't heard that one, it's a story about John who was injured at work. He took 4,000 volts of electricity to the head, and it was he couldn't come back. He couldn't go back to work. It ended his career. And we got Mr. Jordan who's back.
Hello. Oh, dude, I am so sorry. Okay.
Oh, yeah, man.
I thought I plugged my laptop in. I didn't. Oh my god, dude.
It's all good, man. I was just talking about, upcoming episodes, what we got planned, the episode that just came out. Hey, it's good, man. I'm not really good at talking by myself, but like I made it work somehow.
There you go. Well,
yeah, man.
Was that the first time something like that's ever happened?
No, fuck no.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, no.
I thought it was gonna be the first. Dang it.
No, I cut out on Ed the Sock. I don't know if you know who Ed the Sock is.
I don't. Sorry, I don't. I don't know a lot of internet people. I really, I didn't. I never
He's
really
from TV back in the
cared about the
90s
internet.
or late 90s, early 2000s. He's from TV. He was a sock puppet on Much Music.
Wait, I
He
might. That does sound familiar. Hold up.
Yeah, man. Ed the Sock was on, and I cut out, and he kept the show going. And when he realized I wasn't there, he's like, "Oh, this is my show now." And then he just doubled down, and I thought I was going to edit that out.
What a legend, Ed
Dude!
the Sock,
It was
bringing it home.
Bringing it home, man.
Respect.
Fuck, that was episode like 11. Wow, man. We've come so far,
dude. That's crazy. So let's go back to you're talking about your daughters.
Yeah. Yeah. My youngest is a savage. She's 4 going on like 30. And she's insanely smart. And she talks a lot of shit. Oh, yeah. So much shit.
So did she get that from you or your mother or your wife? Sorry.
Well, a little bit of both.
Okay. So you and your wife are one and the same.
Yeah, you could say that. Are you there?
Oh,
it's freezing now.
I think we're having.
Oh,
yeah, it's freezing now.
You there now? You're back?
Yeah, I'm here. What temperature is it? I see frost in your windows. What temperature is it for you?
Today was actually pretty warm. It was +4. 2 days ago it was -30.
Do you have the heat on in your truck?
I do have the heat on in the truck for when we start it in the morning. I am sweating balls right now.
What time is it right now?
It is.
You said it's an hour. Okay, that's right. You're an hour ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I heard your wife there not long ago. She's probably getting ready to go to bed or something. Probably calling you up, giving you them eyes, you know.
I told her to just chill tonight, okay?
Hey,
I told her to give me a break tonight.
The night is still young. You can still make baby number whatever it is. But
yeah. So I got 2 kids. Thankfully,
how old?
I got 2 boys, and I'm on the opposite spectrum of you. And maybe this sounds bad, but I'm glad I didn't have a girl because I fear what I would have to deal with a girl. So I'm so glad I got boys, and I feel for you, man.
Hey, it's all good, man. My daughters, and this ain't a dig at any race, but my daughters are into black kids, black guys, black boys.
Well, they're children still.
No, they've got a type. Both of them have a type. It's very much a type that's been a thing for a while. And it doesn't matter, white boys, black boys. But like,
are there even black people in Alberta?
Yeah, there's a lot. They're
okay.
Jamaicans specifically. They love Jamaicans. Right? So yeah, that'll be interesting. I get to deal with dreadlocks and stuff probably when I'm, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Okay. But like, they're part black themselves too. They're 10%. So, which is not a whole lot. But my wife is like 20%. So.
Okay. Just no teenage pregnancies and you'll be fine.
Buddy, I hope not. Let's not speak that into existence.
Hey, as long as you raised them right, you have nothing to worry about.
I don't think it has anything to do with how you raise them. I think it has everything to do with,
I know the world is pushing it on them. I know.
Oh yeah.
Like exactly what 12. You said a long time ago.
I was 12 when I lost my virginity, man. I was 12. I went for it.
How old was the teacher?
I went went and played the Little League World Series, and I fucking found the home run derby, and like, I tell you, when you're 12, the difference between 12 and now is probably about 30 seconds. I last 30 seconds longer now, so that's good.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say 30 seconds less. Okay, so you improved.
Sometimes. Okay. Yeah, I've improved over time. Yeah, oh shit, I think fucking
every year is 1 second.
Every year is 1 second, man, which is perfect. So good for her anyway.
First off, I gotta say that's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
you're not that 12. I didn't even think balls drop at that point. That's crazy.
They were dropped.
My son's 9, and I don't see him anywhere near that. And I kind of hope I was 16. But I hope my son doesn't do what I did. and actually waits. I know it's gonna be hard for him, but I do hope he waits until he gets married, finds a nice girl.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Find a nice girl.
Find a nice. Holy shit, that is.
I do feel my brother is a Gen Z. He was born as a Gen Z, and I feel bad for him in the dating pool right now because it's it's just bad. It's bad right now, and I'm so glad I've been married since I was 20. So what? 10 years, 12 years, something like that.
With my wife for almost 20 years and married for 12 this year, right? So shout out to that.
It's so nice not having to worry about doing all that crap because I just feel bad for the young men right now.
I feel the young men and the young women, right? Like it's that's there. It's
Okay, I get your point.
Yeah.
But the women are being pushed more into, I guess, I don't know. Should I say being more like men? They're being pushed to be more like how men conventionally are, but they're more like everything is transaction with them. It's all transactional, unfortunately.
Yes, it is absolutely. So we're gonna we're getting on in time, and I like to end the podcast with one last question.
Okay. And sorry, I was going crazy. Sorry.
No, it's all good, man. No, hey, dude, that's what I want the podcast to be anyways. You come on. I don't come on with a plan. I've told you that, right? So we're walking down a path and you see another path. You're like, ooh, a path. And you take it. And then you're walking down that path for a little bit. And then you're like, I want to go back up there. You go back up to the main path. You walk a little bit further. You see a little side quest over here and you take it. We're fucking in Zelda now, bro. Like, on one podcast, they went on a 25-minute walk down a path that involved Pokemon for 25 minutes. Then we snapped back to the path and started talking about what we were before. It was great. Yeah. So Mount Rushmore has 4 of the most influential people on the rock, right? Like, depends who you ask. If you had your own Mount Rushmore, 4 people that you could look up to, inspire to be, or that have inspired you, who would they be and why?
Dang, bro, you're killing me with this one. Man, I don't like to have heroes, I guess you could say, because
you could be on there. They could be fiction. People. They could be real, not real.
Okay. Well, I mean, we gotta have founding fathers, of course. At least one of them. I'll go the classic George Washington, just because he was the craziest son of a gun ever in America. That dude did crazy things. He was so crazy that people were forced to follow him because they didn't know what was going to happen. So I'll put George Washington up there just because he's the man. He's the OG, I guess you could say. The OA, the original American.
What was going on, huh?
Yes. Screw you, Canada, or not. Well, Canada, because you're from the UK. So screw you, Canada. But also, do you guys still follow under? Sorry, do you guys still follow under the British, the Queen, whatever, the monarchy?
Kind of. We're like we got our independence in like 1967 or some shit like that. But like we still like have the Queen on our money.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Works. I don't know if we're still sucking the tit, or I don't know.
Okay.
I guess it'd be the dick now because it's Prince Charles or whatever.
Yeah. Dude, when the Queen finally died, she was like, what, 100 years old? People in America were crying. Why does any American give a crap about royalty? Who cares? I don't get it. But anyways, that's another thing. But listen, she was old. Old people die. I don't know what to tell you. Breaking news. Old people die.
Yep. Old people die. This just in. Old person has.
Yeah. So, also, no, never mind. Let's go back. What? I was gonna say, I already told my wife this. If I get to a point where I'm old enough to where my quality of life is now lower, why? I'm already gone. Especially if I get Alzheimer's or something. Give my kids the shotgun, take me to the back, and put me down like a dog.
Old Yeller.
Don't even bury me. Just throw me in the dumpster for next Thursday when they come, and it's done.
Hey, I want to be taxidermied, bro. They don't taxidermy humans, and I want to be that guy.
Okay, I know a way around this for you.
Okay.
When you die, have your wife buy a furry suit and put you in it so they think you're an animal, and then you'll be taxidermied.
I identify as a fucking llama.
A llama?
Now you gotta taxidermy me. Done.
A llama? What? Are you Cusco over here?
I
What
want
are
to be
you?
able to spit on people. I want to spit on everybody.
I mean, you can do that now as a human.
Yeah, but fucking I can't get away with it. So a llama spits on someone, and everyone's like, that's just a llama. I spit on someone, they're like, fuck you, dick. You know, like.
so I got now. So at Mount Rushmore, we're thinking 4. How many on my Mount Rushmore?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
we'll
any
stick
amount you want,
conventional.
man. You could have 1. Fuck, you could have 10. It's your Mount Rushmore, bro.
I'd say probably George Washington, like I said, OG. Maybe Alexander the Great, because he just decimated all of the Middle East and the Turkish Empire back then, or the Byzantine Empire, whatever. Yeah.
And he sucked a lot of dick.
Not Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Great was gay, bro.
No, he wasn't. He was married and he retired with his wife. He went to not the Cayman Islands. I'm not between Greece and the Middle East. He went to that island with his wife to rescue her, some BS like that. Bro was crazy. Did
you not see the movie Alexander? The dude was into dudes.
I don't watch New Age stuff because it's all prorated history. It's not real.
They had to throw the dick sucking in there, man. They had to. That's what they did. What men did back in the day. Real men put dicks in their mouth.
But that was in Rome. This is after Rome fell. And
so Rome fell. Alexander the Great moves on. He's like, you know what? I'm not into dudes no more. Ladies, what's up?
The Rome fell definitely before that, because Alexander the Great was part of the Crusades, and the Crusades happened. Well, they happened throughout the centuries, but they were around like 900 to 1400.
Didn't he die of like syphilis?
He did die of. Well, they said he was shot with an arrow, and he died of sepsis or whatever, allegedly. So who knows? Maybe a lot of guys did die of sickness. I know the king that was with him from England died of sickness just on the road. He didn't even get to battle.
He died lovesick because him and the king were like touching tips. You know?
Maybe
it was
AIDS.
Oh shit!
They didn't even get to, and they already got AIDS. They weren't even there. They were close to it. They're getting to the Middle East. So
we should reinvent history and come up with our own theories for what happened. That should be a
new Netflix movie.
Podcast. You want to start a podcast? You want to start a podcast with me?
What, reinventing history?
We'll reinvent history. Every week we'll take something in history that happened and we'll reinvent the facts of it. Man, can you imagine what we could come up with?
Probably similar to the truth, because the truth is just as crazy. So probably very similar to that.
Probably.
Unless we throw aliens involved. Well, actually, that might be also part of the truth. I don't know. Like I said, I don't actually know.
Yeah.
Just a theory.
Yeah.
So George Washington, Alexander the Great. Netanyahu. Psych.
What up to Benjamin Netanyahu, bro? Was it to his inner Canadian when he went and committed international war crimes? Shout out to Benjamin Netanyahu.
Shout out.
Hey, he's probably Times People of the Year.
He can't be.
He got rid of a lot of problems.
Definitely got rid of a lot, and definitely didn't start any problems. Definitely got rid of them all.
So, do you know what the Ben Carrion Canal is?
No.
Okay, so the
Mediterranean.
Yeah, Mediterranean. But do you know what the canal in Egypt is? What the fucking canal is that? The Suez Canal? Is that the Panama? No, that's the Suez Canal.
That's the Panama Canal is in the South America.
Okay.
Panama.
The Suez Canal is in Egypt, right? Pretty sure.
I don't know, man. But
whatever
I'm gonna-
canal is in Egypt.
okay.
When Egypt had their war with Israel. Israel
Okay.
cleaned the floor with them, and Egypt had to surrender the canal.
Okay.
But in their peace treaty, they got the canal back, and they get $9 billion a year contributed to their Egyptian economy every year, and they don't have to share that with anyone else. That's theirs, right?
Okay.
Now, Israel is jealous. They want some of that money. The U.S. and the Brits want to be a part of that. So the Ben Gurion Canal, and you could Google this. It's fucking for free. They're laying out the maps for you. They're telling you what they're doing. The Ben Gurion Canal goes straight up through the Middle East, and the mouth of this canal opens into the Gaza Strip. The Gazans are in the way of the mouth of this canal. It was an extermination to move them off the map so they could build their canal.
So where is that canal ending? It has a start. Where's it going to end? It's going through the Gaza. It ends. So that's going to be the hub, because Gaza is already a hub for transportation. So they want it to go and meet that hub. It's not going to go through. It's just going to stop.
You know what? Before I make myself look like an asshole, you got to Google this after the podcast is over. Google the Ben Gurion Canal. Man, they're slapping you in the face with what they're doing.
I didn't want to bring any of this stuff up because I didn't want to get your sponsorships taken away or anything like that.
Oh, fuck no, dude. Dude, free speech.
Hey, you're in Canada. You don't have free speech. That's not part of your constitution.
Hey, I got free healthcare though. Am I right?
You pay for it with 40% of your paycheck. What are you talking about, bro?
52%, man.
Okay, 52%.
Don't make me
it's even worse.
Feel like I've got more money than I actually do. Okay, so that was 3. Shut up, the Benjamin.
No, that didn't count. Okay, I'm getting off of that.
Okay.
My son's saying hi to me.
Hey, son.
But let's see. I'm not gonna say any. There's no one of this time who I'm gonna say because they haven't earned it yet.
That's why. That's why Mount Rushmore hasn't been expanded. Did you know that?
Well,
the creator of Mount Rushmore. That's why the rock is actually so small. There's so much room there. It looks tiny when you're there. The creator of Mount Rushmore went off to fight in a war and said he'd finish it when he got back. He died. His son took it over, and his son was like, no one here deserves to be on that rock, and no one since has deserved to be on that rock.
I'm trying to think of maybe Roosevelt. He could have been on there.
Roosevelt's been one answer already, and you know anything about Roosevelt and how badass he was?
Yes, I do. I know he was an OG who got shot and still continued, even though his lung was collapsing or something like that.
Something like that. Roosevelt.
He set up the Central Park system or the nature reserves. He set up that system, so he's already a great guy. Plus, was it him? He was part of the. Was it Churchill? Was he involved with Churchill? Where he told Churchill. He told one of the world leaders to go F themselves, pretty much, because America don't play that stuff, and people were pretty much scared of him, which is good. Yeah. As a world leader, you need people to be afraid of you. Fear is great control. So you need to be able to induce fear, which is you can cut this out if you want, which is why I don't think a lot of women should become president or in positions of power like that, world leaders, because people aren't afraid of them. Unfortunately. I mean, that's just how it is. That's just how it is.
There's a lot of women that, I don't know, women are crazy, man.
They are ruthless. You're correct.
They're irrational.
And we don't need irrational people. That's how genocides start. That's how war starts, is with irrational people.
But every man
most wars
has been at the forefront of irrationality.
That's true. Our historic irrationality is money induced. I fear that their irrationality will not be money induced. It will be emotionally induced, which we don't need.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to start a war with Iran today because I'm on my period and there ain't no chocolate, like.
That could happen. I don't know.
Fucking dump
It could
them
happen.
nukes. I'll deal with it when this period's over next week. You know,
Yeah.
if I'm bleeding, they bleeding. You know.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
So we got I don't know. Well, I wasn't gonna put Roosevelt on my Rushmore. I was just saying he might be a historic figure deserving of being on Mount Rushmore. Not Oprah, not Gandhi. Not the Dalai Lama. Get all these people out of here. Who cares? I mean, I don't know. Would Jesus count? I don't know if Jesus would even count because he's like a religious figure and he's already all over the place. So I don't know if that would count. That's not really. I mean, whatever. If people want to believe what they want, I don't really care. It's not my job to force anything on anyone. But I don't know. I can't think of anyone really. I'm sure you've been asked this a million times. I'm sure you've said it a million times. So it'll probably be quick and easy for you. Who's your Mount Rushmore?
My dad, number one. Someone that I don't want to be anything like. When I look up on the rock, I want to do the opposite. That's important to me. My dad wasn't a good man. Isn't a good man. So I want to look up there and be reminded to do better. My Nana, I didn't get to meet her until my dad was adopted when he was a baby, and I didn't get to meet her until 10 years ago. Didn't grow up with grandparents, anything like that. She taught me so much in just the little time that I knew her. She's not doing so well health-wise right now, so like it kind of sucks, but she lives far away too, so I've only got to hang out with her a handful of times. My wife and my kids could be put on one rock. That'll be one, right? My oldest daughter my oldest daughter made me a parent, and my youngest teaches me patience every fucking day. And my wife is just an incredible human being. Last but not least, Austin Matthews, number 34 from Scottsdale, Arizona, of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Your captain. Fucking god. He's a god. And I know I shouldn't put sports figures up there, but like, it's my rock.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know you were gonna. Now you're making me feel bad because I didn't know you were gonna do. Like I thought he was talking about like who you should replace Mount Rushmore with, or if you could put someone on Mount Rushmore. I didn't know you're doing personal. I mean, I wouldn't put my family on Mount Rushmore, like in a literal sense, like that. Like they don't deserve it. Who are they? Them. I love them. I'd die for them, but they're not a figure like that. They're not on that level, and you know they're everything to me because they're my family. But they're not anyone outside my family. Nobody cares. Yeah. If a war happened in America right now, and they dropped a bomb on our house, maybe a few family members would care that we died. So
yeah,
but I guarantee you that any of these political figures or historic figures, I mean, they're in history for a reason. Am I going to be in history? And am I going to be in a history book? I doubt it. Hell, what am I going to do that gets in history books? In the same sense, is Andrew Tate going to be in a history book? No. He's going to be on a weird, obscure documentary on Netflix or on a YouTube, and that's it.
Yep, and in prison showers. Myths.
Maybe. Yeah. But hey, that's good. I mean, that sucks that your dad was a piece of crap. I mean, you'd hope that the people who raise you, that are supposed to be your provider and do everything for you, are the ones taking care of you and not being part of the problem.
Yeah.
But hey, you're here. You got out of it. So that means you're a. I don't know what happened. I don't know how bad it was, but you survived, and now you know what the worst is, so you can provide the best.
Absolutely, but I still deal with that mental health shit, like that comes from that every day, right? And we're just trying to break cycles, man.
So
And
what type of mental health are you talking about? In
oh
what
shit,
way?
dude, like childhood trauma shit, you know.
Such as you don't have to
That's
get into the trauma, but I mean,
conversation. That's a conversation for sure.
what? How do you like? What triggers the mental problem? Like, what scenario would you get into where this problem would reflect you right now?
As a parent, I always feel like I'm struggling. I'm drowning, right? As I'm trying to be better, right? And I struggle because I work away a lot, and being a good parent is something I struggle with, right? I don't want to be him, but I also know that he did have some good qualities to his parenting style, some, right? So I try to decipher the difference between right and wrong on the fly, right? And that is hard. That is very hard.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, uh, I had a. I mean, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I did have a good parents. Uh, my parents weren't garbage, but I also struggle with that, and I guarantee you, you're in the same boat as every other parent. If a parent
My
isn't struggling with that, then they actually aren't a real parent and they don't care about their kids.
my parents never showed me how to love properly. And I not sure if I even know, and this is tough, especially to say I'm not even sure if I really know what love is. But I know my wife, she tries her hardest every fucking day. And I know my kids, that's tough, man, because like I said, my daughter doesn't look at me like that, right? My oldest. And we're really working on that. My youngest, she's fucking loyal. I love it. But like she loves me because she has to? I don't know.
Well, the best way I've heard love explained is it's not a feeling or an emotion, it's a commitment. Because you can one day you can like somebody, like you I'm sure there's days you really really don't like your wife, and there's days she really doesn't like you. But at the end of the day, the love is the commitment, and that's why you guys are still together after 20 years, because you're committed to each other, and that's what the love is. It's not the emotion, it's the promise and the commitment you guys made with each other. That's why
Yeah.
I don't like throwing love around everywhere, because I know a lot of people like, oh, I love this, I love that, I love this. What does that even mean? What do you even know what that means? You like something, you can like something, but are you going to commit to that thing? No, you're going to forget about it the next day. So
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, me personally, that's just what I've heard. So maybe that's what it is. It's just you show your love through your commitment. It's not, I don't know, what you feel or whatnot.
Yeah. I get that, man. No,
Yeah.
that's a great way to end this, dude. That's perfect. Um Thanks for coming on the podcast, man. Like I appreciate that, dude. That last little bit, dude. It's something I've been struggling with like all my life, but like the last couple months, dude, it's really smacking me, right? It's really smacking me as I get older, Hey, the average person lives to be 70 to 80. I'm in my midlife crisis right now.
So are you taking care of your body?
Working on that, working on doing it better. I've lost a little bit of weight, I've kept it off. I just got an energy drinks. I don't know if that's taking care of it or not, but
Oh, what?
I just got into energy drinks. I don't know if that's taking care of it or not,
Well,
but
I meant in the sense of no exercise, or you just constantly eating junk food all the time and stuff like
I
that.
watch what I
'Cause-
eat. I'm very
Okay.
careful with what I eat. So yeah.
But you already mentioned no alcohol, no drugs. So
I
you're
don't smoke
already
either, so
so you're already ahead of the game. So I think
boom, dying of cancer tomorrow.
well, thankfully your industry doesn't have any cancer-inducing
Oh man,
things.
oil and gas has no cancer-causing chemicals whatsoever.
I
Absolutely.
know people complain about welding being like lung cancer inducing, which it is. You have a 7% higher chance of developing lung cancer as a welder, but as a smoker, it's like 13 or 14%. So, and really these percentages, it's like one in every. It says 7%, but in reality, around 7%. But in reality, it's like what? So that's like 7 out of 100 people.
Yeah.
If that, that's not that bad.
That's not that
That's
bad.
really not that bad.
No, fuck them.
So,
yeah. Ben,
anyways,
thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah. I appreciate you having me. No, I appreciate you having me. And I mean, that's great. You're taking care of yourself and you'll live a long and healthy life as long as you don't stress yourself out.
Fuck, let's go.
Don't stress yourself
50,
out,
baby. We're heading to 50.
Yeah, 50, bro.
Yeah. No, man, stress is a big part of my life, but like I think it's a big part of everyone's, and it's how you deal with that stress, though, right? So
yes,
yeah.
So I have been, I don't want to say scolded, but I've had a lot of my managers get upset with me because I try to be as relaxed as possible. Especially even when I got into a foreman position, I get it. We have a schedule to uphold. There's a lot of things going on, but I would rather be relaxed and take care of it than stress, because stress doesn't do anything. It doesn't solve the problem any faster. So they'd always get mad at me because they'd tell me something. I'd be like, okay. They say, we got to do this. Oh my God, can you believe this? They'd be going crazy in my face, and I'd just be staring at them and go, okay, yeah, we'll take care of it. Yeah. Anyways, we'll see it. And they'd just be like, this is emergency. We got to hurry up. And I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, we'll take care of it. No problem. And I just nonchalantly walk and they're like, where's the urgency? How is that? There's a time and a place. And construction, for the 99% of it, is not life or death. So you don't have to go crazy, because if you get stressed and you start stressing out your guys, it's only going to hurt the job.
Yep.
So I feel just stay cool, stay level-headed, and you're in the dark again.
I'm in the
dark. I can't tell. You're getting scary on me. Ooh, spooky. Yeah. So, anyways, I just thought that because I've seen a lot of guys have heart problems.
Yep.
Because of the stress, and I don't want that. So and people don't like it, but I try to stay as chill as possible.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm not trying to die. I'm not trying to get a heart attack on the job or a stroke. Forget that.
Fuck that.
Just
Fugazi.
Yeah, fugazi. Yes.
Forget.
You know American stuff? What the heck? You're not even American. You know American stuff.
It's gangster shit. It's Italian. It's mob stuff.
Do you even speak French?
Comment ça va? How are you doing?
Dang, you're that kind of Canadian?
Oh, bro. God, that's ingrained in our shit since grade 2, grade 1.
Okay. So just English and French. Those are two languages.
I know a little bit of Filipino, and I like say smelly vagina in Filipino, and Happy New Year and Merry Christmas, and hi, how are you? And yeah.
Tagalog?
Tagalog, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What how'd you learn Filipino or Tagalog or whatever?
With a bunch of Filipinos.
Really? What the?
Yeah, he taught me some shit.
So, okay. Now I'm curious. Sorry. I know you're trying to land the plane. I
apologize.
That's
good.
I apologize. But I got to ask you, is there a Hispanic community where you're at?
I live in Edmonton. There's over 1 million people there. I'm going to say yes, somewhere. I don't know
Well,
where.
I mean, that you work with. Because here in Texas and California, like 70% of the people I work with were Hispanic.
No.
Okay.
No, nowhere's near that. Maybe you might see one every now and then.
Okay. So you mainly are dealing with, either white, Filipino, or black. Those are your
A lot,
three
a lot of
main.
like Pakistanis, a lot of East Indians, a lot of
Really?
some Middle Eastern. Oh yeah,
In construction.
yeah, oh yeah.
Huh.
A lot of engineers, like Pakistanis and Middle Easterns, like Hindus and stuff like that. A lot of engineers.
Okay, so not actually working alongside you with the hammer and wrench, but they're the ones coming to you with the plans and the prints, or
Yeah,
giving you
yeah,
the scheduling, sending you emails, all that stuff.
yeah. Got a lot of Aboriginals. A lot of Aboriginals I work alongside. Yeah,
Okay,
First Nations for sure.
interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
those.
I learned something.
I'm the foreigner to them, but like
Yep. Well, there you
All
go.
right, man.
So
you have a good night.
you too.
Go
Yeah,
hug your
again,
friend.
I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, thanks for coming on, brother.
Yeah. So
Hey.
all the success, and hey, Mud, name your sponsors again so I can remember.
Fuck my the Mudman.
Mudman.
Shout out
That's
to the
you.
Mudman who deals in your fucking load thickness. You got Brasco Safety and NWT Safety, and BetterHelp does sponsor the podcast. We're just waiting on some more paperwork. So
Congratulations.
thanks. That was a tough one.
So did you reach out to them, or they reached out to you?
I reached out to them.
Okay.
I punched up. I didn't think they'd answer back. They did.
And that's how you reached out to all your sponsors. You reached out to them and said, "Hey."
The Mudman came to me, and NWT came to me, I believe. I went to Brasco.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll probably, I mean, I don't want to take too much of your time, but I'll probably ask you about that stuff later. But
oh, hell yeah, man.
Cool.
I'm always down to talk shop. So
awesome. Well,
yeah, man.
Again, we'll, do you do an outro at all? Like an outro
I do
song
an outro,
or anything?
man. I do, yeah.
Hell yeah. Well,
hell yeah.
Whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
Are you ready for it? Are you ready? Can you handle it? You want it?
Let me get prepped.
All right, prepped. All right. Hey, Jacob.
Oh,
you stay frosty, brother.
Hell yeah.